Watergate investigation. Although the country was sharply divided at the time, the committee was studiously bipartisan. It approved its subpoena of Nixon's tapes and its final report by unanimous votes. Hamilton explained what he had learned from the Watergate process in a 1976 book, The Power to Probe, a Study of Congressional Investigations. It's still one of the best guides on how Congress can exercise its too-little-used authority to hold the executive branch accountable. After this Watergate baptism, Jim fashioned a career as a private lawyer dealing with government ethics issues. Sometimes his clients were unfairly accused, other times he probably cut them a break. But as these pages illustrate, a lawyer's job isn't to judge his clients, but to advocate their cases. Jim had a remarkable record of success over several decades. Among those he represented were Senator Herman Talmadge, who was caught, by his wife inadvertently, having allegedly stuffed $100 bills in his overcoat, who avoided censure with Hamilton's help; Senator Dave Durenberger, who was accused of various ethical misdeeds but likewise avoided censure; Senator Dennis DeConcini, who was accused of impropriety in the savings and loan scandal but escaped with only a mild rebuke from the Senate Ethics Committee; and Representative Otto Passman, who was caught in the Koreagate scandal but acquitted by a jury in his home state of Louisiana after Jim and co-counsel managed to transfer the case there. An especially powerful case involved Vincent Foster, who, as Deputy White House counsel under President Bill Clinton, was rumored to have played a role in a flap known as Travelgate, and who was a close advisor to his former Arkansas law partner, Hillary Clinton. Foster visited Jim seeking legal advice. 9 days later, he died by suicide. Jim had marked his notes privileged and successfully protected their confidentiality in a case that went all the way to the Supreme Court. Interestingly, his opposing counsel was Brett Kavanaugh, then a member of the special prosecutor's team investigating Clinton and now a Supreme Court justice. It was Kavanaugh's only argument before the court, and he lost. Hamilton counseled journalists, columnist Bob Novak in the Valerie Plame case, baseball players, including one falsely accused of taking steroids, and a chair of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Mike Mullen, who was unfairly attacked by a House committee investigating the Benghazi tragedy. And for every Democratic presidential candidate from 2000 to 2016, a line that stretches from Al Gore to Hillary Clinton, he was in charge of vetting the vice presidential candidates. Calvin Coolidge is often quoted as observing that the business of America is business. Maybe so, but the business of Washington is law, and as these pages demonstrate, few people have practiced it as well as Jim Hamilton. David Ignatius, August 2021. 1. The Path to Washington. I have spent much of my professional career on history's front lines. I say that because, by a combination of serendipity and effort, I have been able to participate, as a lawyer or otherwise, in many of the major legal and political events of the last 50 years. Watergate, the investigation of John F. Kennedy's assassination, President Bill Clinton's impeachment, and heading the vetting of vice presidential candidates for 4 Democratic nominees for president are prime examples, but far from the only ones. Along the way, I have interacted with a number of persons who have shaped history, including Sam Ervin, Howard Baker, John Dean, Bill and Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, Joe Biden, Marina Oswald, Admiral Mike Mullen, Prince Philip, Bob Novak, Ken Starr, Brett Kavanaugh, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, James Baker, Bill Casey, and the Keating Five, among many others. This book has been written in part to fill in various interstices of history, bringing my recollections to events that are incompletely known. I will, of course, honor my obligations to preserve attorney-client confidences and my commitment not to reveal non-public substantive information.